Good morning and welcome to What's New with Mike, Jeff, and Mark. Your hobby hangout coming to you live via the interwebs. I'm your host, Mike. With me is Jeff, and below is Mark, the award-winning photo taker of the year award. That's all I had.
There's a lot of photos.
You said take them. I took them.
You did. You did. Did you have to buy a new camera after you're done?
That was all with my phone, actually.
That's what I meant. When you say camera now, you just kind of assume it's your phone.
Well, no. I have a real camera. But Jamie and I had been taking some pictures of the models and stuff like that before the show and left it down here. And I got scolded halfway through Wyoming for not. Did you bring my camera? No, it's on the tripod. Okay. So.
Well, I had to upgrade our Discord server for storage because of
Raymond.
No, I'm just joking.
I'll send you a PayPal and we'll get that started.
I'm just messing with you.
I've already told you we need a PSA to let everybody apologize for not being able to take pictures anymore because Mark took them all.
Yes, so we will be a very picture-heavy show today, which is awesome because what I like to see, this was the Salt Lake City.
Yeah, it was called the Rocky Mountain Hobby Expo. This was the second year for the event. It's hosted in Salt Lake City.
Okay.
It's last year it was a one-day show, and it was hosted out of the U.S. Army the Utah Army National Guard Armory. There in West Jordan, Utah, south of Salt Lake. It was last year. It was a one-day event. It was so popular last year that they extended it to a two-day event.
A lot of entries. There were absolutely a lot of entries.
Yeah, it's probably going to be they doubled the amount of models at the event this year from last year, and so more than likely they're outgrowing that armory.
Oh,
they're probably going to be looking. They've still got to figure it out, but there was some discussion about it's getting bigger. So it's getting more attention. A lot of folks came in from overseas, from around the country, as well as a couple of folks from overseas. So.
Well, I did like seeing that there were gaming miniatures present in the event, which is just telling of how far gaming miniatures have grown from the monopose kind of blobs of lead to what they are now. So.
I have to tell you this at lunch. I've got a lot of commission work going on. I'm doing right now. I haven't been doing a lot of painting because I'm doing a crap ton of building. But I started building a Fulgrim, the Chaos Primarch Demon Prince cotton. And I got a serpent lower body that's kind of coiled. And when I got it, I'm like, this could possibly be a complicated. It goes together so nicely.
Yeah.
It's amazing as being a guy that started back when Beaky Marines in that box, you got 20 of them in there and how those look compared to what I'm building now, it's insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah. Just love it. Love seeing it. And I don't know if you saw it yet, Mark, but the new, one more? Fulgrim's tail? I don't know. How's the tail on Fulgrim?
It goes together like a dream. There are a ton of pieces to get it to, but that was what I thought was going to happen. I knew there'd be a lot of pieces, and I thought it was going to be a complete pain to assemble, but it didn't. It went together like a dream. I was just amazed at how easy it was to build.
Oh, wow.
Mark, I don't know if you saw Andy's latest video, but I guess the 1/16 scale armored truck coming out. Oh, you already got yours. Look at that. That thing's massive.
Yes, it is. This is the Leopard 2.
Yes, that thing is massive.
The one that just came out. Yeah, I mean, like, seriously. It's
gigantic.
Yeah.
It showed up on Monday.
Oh, and you already started chopping away at it. Good morning.
Well, I just took the the turret, bottom and half the turret, I just taped up the turret and then just added it just to see how truly massive it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's I mean, there's a Lowe's paint stir on it.
I'm still wiping the drool off my phone from when you sent me the pic.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, that's gorgeous.
The box is massive.
It's not a very expensive kit for what you're getting.
No, because it's got the pretty much the workable tracks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's in there. A lot of detail. It's got some photo etch for the screens and stuff like that. It might be my Thanksgiving project. So
very cool. Very cool.
I was debating between doing the TACOM, doing this one, or the TACOM 1/16 scale Weasel, which is this small. It's the same scale, but it's only this big. So,
oh yeah, the Weasel's neat. Yeah.
I mean,
I'm kind of digging the TACOM 2 Shermans in the box. They're big box deal.
Yep.
I was like, those are kind of unique subject matters because they're late war type vehicles. I'm like 1/35th scale, so it fits my wheelhouse better because it fits on my desk. So I'm that's on pre-order, and it's still not a bad price for the 2 Shermans plus a 1/16 scale display model. It's like $90. That's not bad.
No, because the big boxes have been really good to them. They when they came out with the TACOM came out with their Tiger 1, they did basically 3 different versions of it, and they had it in a big box.
Yeah,
it was like $80 or $90 or whatever, like you said, for that plus a 1/16 scale figure and stuff. And then they came out with released their Hetzers, which were basically 3 different variants, early, mid, and late, that they also did in the big box. So it's really great for the modeler if you get that big box. They're economical, great price.
Yeah, okay. You save a little bit of money because you may not want both tanks. Like with the Sherman one, you got a Israeli and Sherman, and then you've got the late war World War II Sherman. So some people may not be into that, but still a great deal.
They're fantastic kits. I mean, and I'm looking forward to it. And I'll probably end up, succumbing to.
I just like to help share the knowledge that cool stuff's coming out, and you may be interested.
Yeah.
Yes. So you're already on top of that. So
I did like the. I haven't watched the video yet, but I saw last night that Andy did the half track, the American half track.
Yeah,
he just did a walkthrough on that and stuff, and said that the manufacturing, that the design and stuff's done, and then basically it's on its way over. So
and I watched that one too.
May be a Christmas present, so we'll see.
And he was really clear in that. This is something I didn't know, but he needed to emphasize to people because you can actually, because it's 1/16 scale, so you can see all the screw heads that screw the armor on, and they're just like how I would put them on a light switch. They're all facing the same way. And he went in and pointed out historical references of these half tracks coming off the assembly line, and all the screws were the same way. They were all up and down. I didn't know they did that.
It wasn't haphazard, like this one's twisted this way.
It was
all they were boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. So Andy went in and just talked about that and showed documentation. I'm like, that's like just having that level of detail in it. The engineers got to actually go look at the actual one being refurbished.
Yeah.
So they actually got to see it all, and it was just like, that's what I love about modeling is just seeing how much effort goes into just making the kits.
There's a little museum in Heartland, Nebraska. Okay. Called the Heartland. Well, it's actually in. It's called the Heartland Military Model Museum or whatever. They've got a great little museum there. Don't go the huge, open hangar type thing that they've got open up. They've actually got an M3 Bradley that was used for prototyping different weapon systems there that you can walk in, sit in, and stuff like that.
Oh, very cool.
But they also have about half a dozen different half tracks like that.
Oh, very
different flavors. The one with the 450 cals and the different ones, the traditional ones and stuff like that. So It's actually really cool. It's about 5-6 hours from here, and it's in the western part of Nebraska. So, but yeah, it's like the Heartland Military Museum. They've got a great little bunch of stuff there, so it's great. So.
Good morning, Victor. Thank you for letting us know we're the best show on Saturday morning television. So very cool. Good stuff coming out. Andy's just keeps. I might be heading out to Andy's today. Don't know yet. We'll see. I am very. Yes. I love it.
You can imagine an orc here, right? Okay.
I've already thought about chopping it up and making it an orc war wagon. Jeff, don't judge.
I'm sorry. I'm letting you rivet counters just do your thing. I'm just, bored as
we're screwed. We're talking
rivet counters. Rivet counters.
We're not counting the number of screws.
When you start talking about the screws all being the same way, you fall under the nomenclature of rivet counter.
Hey, if I was an electrician, all my light covers would have the screws going the same way.
The hard part is that it's unfortunately the challenge with Jeff is that it's the counting part that's the problem. He can't count.
Absolutely, like counting my number of friends, which I lost one recently, like seconds ago.
David, if I make it over there, I'm sure you will sell me a lot of stuff. I'm positive you will force something. Well, it won't be hard. It won't be a hard force. You'll just like, hey, Mike, look over here, shiny stuff. Oh, hey, I need that.
Yeah.
So it's not hard. I'm not going to pick up a shopping cart though.
Mike doesn't even, or I'm sorry, not Mike. Dave doesn't even have he shouldn't even brag about selling you anything because it's not that. It's just they're over there. That's his selling technique. When you walk in the door, they're over there.
Yeah, that's all you got to do.
They're over there. They're over that way.
Yeah.
Or if you put them all in a large barrel,
that
would catch your attention as well.
That only works with dice.
Yeah. Just load a card up and put Mike's name on it and call it good.
As a salesman, I'd say there's like 5 dice in the bottom of that.
And I would just be
you would dig through it.
Digging and digging and digging till I found all 5. If I have to spend 10 hours there digging through that bucket of dice, I would do it.
You would. Absolutely.
I think I did it at LVO.
You did at LVO.
Oh. Well, everybody, this is going to be, we got a lot of photos. Mark just came back from the model show. We made a comment. Well, Jeff made a comment. Hey, Mark, take some photos. And Mark took him up on that. And we do have some amazing photos to look over, lots of scale models. But like I said, there's splatterings of gaming miniatures in there as well. So I'm very excited about that.
That's a lot of good pieces. It's really fun to show it off.
And I guess there's a good morning, Tim. Emphasis on this because scale models are a way to practice techniques and skill sets that you don't normally practice on miniature models, or you may be trying to learn some new techniques that you saw online, and instead of trying it on a $160 tank from GW, you can try it on something a little bit more affordable and things like that. So it's just another aspect of our hobby that we like to celebrate.
Yeah, and the techniques you see, and whether you're looking at a miniature competition like Golden Demon, or you're going to an AMPS or an IPMS show, the techniques are all the same. They're just applied a little differently based on what you're trying to do.
Yeah,
and that's one of the reasons why we like having Mark on, because Mark is phenomenal at what he does. He's absolutely fantastic brother. That hurt me just to say. It's amazing that you can look at that and then
you kind of cut out there, Mike. I didn't quite hear that. What'd you say?
But it's amazing when you see something like you're at a model show and you see a technique being used on whether it be a World War II tank, an aircraft, or like Millennium Falcon or something like that. You can then go, wow, that looked really good on my repulsor or whatever you want to put it on. Yeah. And it just kind of makes you, as Mike likes to say, get out of your comfort zone and try new things. And that's why we have him. We try to cover all aspects of the hobby.
Yep.
and because it's all in the same vein. We all have the same passion. We just may narrowly focus that down to World War II or historical modeling, sci-fi fantasy modeling, miniature painting in general for competition. It's all the same thing, and it's just nice to get out there and look at other things.
Yeah. With all that being said, should we jump into it?
We can, actually.
All right. Now, Mark, you're going to have to probably walk us through some of this because we weren't there.
Yeah, well, they're also in the order that you posted them, which we're coming on a little quick. So I think next time, like we talked about before the show, you and I maybe can get online when you post them and then kind of try to sort them in order, and not be. I don't want to say we were rushed, but it was a little quick. But they're great pictures, and we'll just go through these real quick.
Wow. I don't know if it's going to be real quick.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot. There are a lot.
So, a little background on the show. So it's a bit of a unique show. So what you'll see for the displays, like this is my display here. So it's called juried exposition, or basically a juried expo. There's a couple different figure shows, MMSI, MFCA, and stuff that use this type of format. So instead of having all these individual categories like for aircraft and armor and stuff like this, the modeler will have their section. They have their nameplate here, and you can see all the models that I brought on the table. Okay, are for the show. It's everything from So basically, you have all of my stuff here. Throughout the whole room, other modelers and figure painters and stuff like this, and miniature guys and everything like this, all had their own similar display. So you could see my Booker there, my little work in progress German figures, my Bradley in the background, the Star Wars TIE Fighter, the car. I mean, I've got, and then a couple of examples. And then I did the 2 War Machine, Sorcerer and Warjack. Those figures I painted like 20 years ago and brought them out just to fill the table. It was funny. Somebody goes, yeah, you got to adjust a little bit on this. And I kind of chuckle. I'm like, yeah, I did these 20 years ago, man. So he's like, really? I'm like, yeah, really.
Is your entry fee just cover your space and you can put as many models on that as you want?
Pretty much. Okay. Whatever there was a certain amount. Pretty much it was, I think you could bring in like 7 or 8 models or something like that. I'd have to double check, but
okay.
There really wasn't a whole lot of, it's not like entering because the way this is, the judges will come around and pick one model that they like to judge. Now, some of these, like the Bradley, the TIE Fighter, and the Nissan, they were actually there like last year. Okay. So I had them marked for display only. Same thing for the work in progress and the other guy that was primed. So really, you had the 2 War Machine figures and I think the car and the Bradley might have been the ones, or the Booker, were the ones that I had available for judging. But they'll come around to each and everybody's table. Then they'll look at what you have that's available for judging, and then pick that model, and then they'll judge on that. So in this case, it was my Booker there with the that I had that have been shown off.
So it's a little bit more of a showcase for you as an artist to kind of show some different things, but not necessarily entering them in the contest. You just have a
you can mark it as display only, and there's several folks that you'll see the little colored dots on there, and some folks that had a blue dot were like basically display only. Their whole collection was display only. That's it.
Right. Very cool. I like it. That's neat.
So, but everybody had their stuff lined up like this. There were seminars. You talked about learning different techniques throughout the weekend. There were different folks in the hobby giving hour and a half type seminars, stuff like that. But also the cool thing about this is that if you like a model, most odds are the people that are doing the work and did the models, like this was right across from where I was selling my vendor table, where I was selling models and stuff. So,
very cool.
And so, yeah, we could talk about it and, hey, what do you think about this technique or whatever? It was very much a social aspect for the show, not just like other where you drop your model on the table and go have lunch and come back and see if you won something. It's very different. This was, if you ever have an opportunity to get up in Salt Lake during June, this would be the place to come. So,
sounds good.
This is my presentation here. And you can go through the slides, Jeff, if you want. And, like this was the gentleman, Rob Kaczynski's. He did, this stuff, he did the little diorama and stuff here that was really nice. And I really liked the snowplow truck that was in the back. It was a Michigan snowplow, and he had sand and gravel and stuff in the back. The weathering on it was phenomenal. I think I get a closer picture later, but yeah. So
yeah, the pictures aren't in any order, so a lot of the models we're going to see, everybody will be from a certain angle, and then as if you've ever been to a model show, you kind of walk up and down the tables. You'll come back around to the other side of that table, and I know later on in the presentation there's more pictures of that plow.
Yeah, that's exactly it, because the way they had it lined up, the Armory had a bunch of tables in a row, about 4 or 5 rows, I think. And you basically worked your way down one side and worked your way up the other. And so you ended up seeing, both sides of people's presentations. So.
Very good.
This gentleman here, he did a Spitfire. Actually a really good job on a Spitfire on the 3 models. Like I said, you can see here, they have the different, he's got a 1/72nd scale Spitfire, he's got a 48 scale Spitfire, and then he's got the 1/72nd scale, DC3 painted up in D-Day markings. So they're really well done. So
now that he put the 72nd scale on a grass display, does that count as a display model now, or does that still count as
it? The bases, and for the most part, they take everything into, pretty much everything into. I'm having a senior moment. Jesus.
Okay.
They take everything into account for when they're judging. So if you've got it on a base and it's a well-done base, that's where some shows, they'll, like IPMS shows and stuff, if you put a model on the base, no matter what you do to the base, how well it looks, typically the base doesn't count. The figure on the pilot figure doesn't count, or the figure on a tank, the commander out of the tank, they won't do it unless it's in the vignette or the diorama category. Here, they pretty much look at the whole piece itself.
Love it.
Yeah.
Sounds like better judging. Oh, look at those helicopters.
Yeah. So the gentleman here did the Blackhawk was really nice. One of the cool things about this event was the Bullfrog, actually the CH-46 was actually a work in progress. That's why he's got it on his build stand and stuff, and it was still under construction. Like I had a couple of figures, my little German guys I had there just for work in progress conversation piece.
Yeah.
The cool thing about the venue is that it is, because it's an Army National Guard unit, it also happens to have the unit itself they fly Blackhawks and Apaches. So they actually gave us tours of the hangars and stuff throughout the weekend. They gave a couple people went over and got to see stuff and all that, and then after we closed the show, all of us judges got a private tour later on Saturday evening, which was kind of cool. So.
Very nice. Look at all that armor.
Yeah. So this is a young man named Cody Kaczynski out of Reno, and he's a nice guy. I mean, he's a good friend of mine. And he really does. He's an up and coming modeler and stuff. He does fantastic work. He's tries a lot of the different techniques, different things, and stuff on it. Kid's good, he takes a chance. Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, it's good. He's like Jeff, but it doesn't really pay off that much for Jeff, but okay. I'm sorry.
What are these poker chip like things?
Okay. So what's been happening around the community lately, since about COVID, is different folks, they're kind of like attaboys.
Okay.
So when you go to a show and you see somebody's work, a lot of people, it started with IPMS, pretty much started around IPMS USA Nationals in Vegas. The Vegas group, they started giving out poker chips. Well, they're, the Vegas clubs and stuff like that gave out poker chips. We really liked their model, that type of thing. Had their little logo and stuff like that on it. Well, it kind of caught on. It's also, you've seen people give out challenge coins. Okay. Challenge coins. We love your stuff. Things like that. It could be from different clubs, like I'm actually working on for Loose Brew and Barbecue. Okay. One that way I can give it to, hey, I really like this. It's independent, like a kudos or an attaboy, independent of
From judges or spectators or both?
spectators.
Oh, okay.
It could
That's
be
awesome.
spectators. Yeah, it's not tied to it's not necessarily tied to the show.
Right. Okay.
So I walk around, I see your model, I like it, Mike. I'll give your model a poker chip. Jeff, I'll give yours a trash can. I'm gonna swipe it off there. There you go. Okay. So
I'm right now flashing back to me going, hey, we should have Mark on the show.
See, I'm talking.
No, I love that because that gets the community involved.
Yes.
And gives the community a voice to just say, hey, just because they may not win, it's like, hey, we still like your stuff.
That's the good point about it is it's you've got all these people, and especially when you go to different shows like 1, 2, 3, judging and stuff like that, like an IPMS show. Okay, you might have 40 models in the category, and you don't know if anybody liked your model or what, that type of thing. And so you go home like a space wolf with its tail between its legs. So hey, I'm in rare form this morning. Okay.
I know. I love it.
But no,
I love that's awesome that the community, like, that's something that should be done more often, even if it's just giving them a sticker of your logo or something like that. Just something kind of like, really love what you're doing here. Keep it up. A little encouragement.
Kind of what we did. So this is Cody's. Cody did this. This was a 48 scale, a recent Tamiya 48 scale M5 Stewart. He added a lot of storage, a lot of stuff to it. Did a lot of little some serious heavy weathering on it, stuff like that. I got it to see it up close and personal, and it was really, really great job. He did a fantastic job.
The Stewart's my favorite tank.
Yeah.
So
this is Cody's his little 250 -9 with the Pack 40 gun on it. I think it's Pack 40.
Look at that. Amazing stuff.
Woo!
Just love it.
We got 154 of these to get through.
Yep. Keep going. He did this is his booker. He and I were doing bookers around the same time.
But this is his work in progress.
That's his work in progress. Exactly. He went through and did a little, the gray splotches. He went through and did a little more anti-slip texturing to it, the panels and stuff like that. Where in my case, I just used what was on the kit. So his is looking really good. So, yeah. Again, this was a presentation from the Central Texas Amps group.
Oh.
They had 5 members all do ferrets, the same kit.
Right.
Done different ways, and then they did the presentations for it. So you had 5 different guys do it 5 different ways. And actually the presentation was really good. So
the club members are actually putting together kind of displays.
Yep.
Very nice.
This is a friend of mine. His name's Rob Booth. He's a gentleman out of Texas. He owns or he has a club that meets the Hill Country Texas modelers. I know I butchered it, Rob. If you're watching, I'm sorry. I'll get it right now. So, but yeah, he did. You can see here, he brought the actual Captain America is a Gundam that he converted to look like Captain America.
Holy moly!
Yeah. So there were a lot of Gundams as well.
Oh.
And actually, the club, the show organizers had their local Gundam or Gunpla community come out and judge all of the Gundams that were in the show.
That's awesome.
Independent of our stuff, they went around and looked at the stuff. But you can see
they do things different in that.
They do
modeling world.
They do poses, different things. They have a whole different set of criteria for judging Gunpla than or Gundam models and stuff like that in Mecha than you do other stuff. So it was really good to bring them in and involve them in the community and get them into the show and stuff. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, there was a lot of jets, a lot of aircraft. I mean, you had all different. Some guys were all jets like this, or you have a lot of different varied tastes, different guys doing dioramas and stuff. Yeah.
Awesome.
This guy here, I mean, Sean did. I think it was Sean. Sean went through and the biplane in the back was actually a honor for the gentleman that passed away. and stuff, so that they had done it. He had started the kit. I believe he started the kit, and John was able to finish it, if I understood it right.
A little memorial piece.
Yeah, exactly. But he did a fantastic job. The camouflage schemes on the two twin engine multi-engine fighters, he did a hell of a job on that airbrushing and doing it by hand, like that camo scheme. It was just phenomenal. So,
all looks great. There's the memorial piece.
Yeah. So,
look at that.
Very cool.
Yeah, look at that detail on that camouflage job.
No, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely great.
Just love it.
He did a fantastic job with them. Yeah, there's the actual tribute.
Yeah, really nice.
Love that.
So this is a friend of mine. His name's John Bonani. He goes by JB Closet Modeler. He's actually here in Denver. He's one of the guys who comes over. He's pretty prolific and pretty well known.
Lower left corner, is that a Space Marine?
Yes, it is. So it's so lower left corner. He did a Terminator. He actually started doing it in the Elminster, whatever. The gentleman on Patreon, but we've seen his work. He does black basing, and then he does all that like harsh highlight shadows and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I think his name I know. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and so JB did it as that. So the really cool thing is that the really bright tank in the middle there on the right hand side, yeah,
this one,
that is a prototype. And actually, when we were at AMP's show just back in May, that's coming out from TACCOM. And JB was given. There's a gentleman, David Hobbs, that works with TACCOM here in the U.S. and stuff, and he gave gave JB and a couple other folks early release to kind of build it up.
Oh,
that
fantastic.
color scheme is bright. I mean, it was a prototypical type color scheme that he put on it, and man, it makes a statement on the table. But he did another model. Actually, go back to the last picture real quick. I know the one above it with the poker chip right where your cursor was at.
Yeah.
That model there, he took to SMC, which is a scale model challenge over in Europe, and he's taking it. I think he's taking it back there this year. He made some adjustments and stuff to it, but it's pretty much only 5 pieces of the actual original kit are left. Everything else has been custom, tweaked, 3D printed. It's got a full 3D printed interior stuff. I've got a couple better pictures of it later, but it's pretty impressive. He did a hell of a job on it.
David chimed in with the I think that's the channel you were referring to. Eliminatorista?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Eliminatorista. Yeah,
that's the guy. Yeah. So he does these. If you ever watch this stuff like on Patreon or YouTube or whatever, he does. He's doing harsh shadows and
That diorama's got a couple poker chips on it.
Yeah, there's a few. This guy actually. There's one diorama. I think it's the one in the back where it's hidden behind the building. Jamie and I, my wife and I, we sponsored 2 special awards for the event, and she gave hers out, and I actually gave mine to the model in the back where it's an M10. I think I got a picture of it later, but it's an M10 crossing a bridge as it's falling through the bridge. And
it's later.
Really impressive. So
love it.
But this was really well done. Everything from the groundwork to the building itself.
It's really nice.
Really well done.
Well, so much inspiration just looking at everyone's talent levels here to really just want to push myself.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I mean,
yeah.
The thing that I find just the amount of work, but also just the detail of filling this one corner.
Yeah. Yep.
Filling
the dead space.
Yep. Just put that kind of completes the whole story, because one of the things about that I have always felt a diorama of this nature or a display of this nature there has to be a story there.
Right.
Yep.
And in many cases, when you're working on a model, you get closer and closer and closer to finishing it. This may or may not get done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or whatever. But this is actually just it's the sense of completeness. And
Well, look at the manhole cover on the other corner.
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, you've got all these little details, and I believe the base was carved from foam.
Really?
So,
oh wow!
I think so. One of the things that some of the folks have been doing, and I've been trying to get into it myself, is that in some cases these guys are using foam, carving up EPS, XPS foam with the pink foam stuff, like what I used on the Booker base. They're using that and carving their own cobblestones and creating the works and stuff.
Well, they got those rollers now that you can use for foam. You can just roll it out.
That and that or guys use bunched up, rolled up, balled up aluminum foil to add texture to bricks and stuff. Yeah, it's there's a lot of different things. There was a show. A friend of mine, Michael McElhaney. He's well known for doing these foam type bases and foam structures. He actually does full buildings out of foam, and he does fantastic with them. So.
And that's something really popular in the gaming industry.
Yeah. And again, this is David's, display here. You can see David's got everything from submarines and stuff to, ships, airplanes, stuff like that. So
looks like there's a 40K model in the middle there or something, or a small plane.
Actually, it's a rotor head.
A rotor head?
It's a Huey helicopter rotor head. Yeah, he had a whole mock-up of the rotor head. It was like, I think it's 1/24 scale or something like that.
Oh, wow. Very
pretty
cool.
impressive. I was like,
wow. That's the one you're talking about?
No, that's another AVRE or one of the different ones, but it's from the same guy. Jerry Takahashi did it. But yeah, where the cursor's at, that's the one the M10. Jerry did like 4 or 5 different dioramas that just worked in it.
Man.
They were hard to do. Tell me, trust me, man.
Cool stuff.
And like I said, we're going to come back to this table from the other side later in this presentation. So,
there we go.
So we actually have this figure now. It was gifted to Jamie. So, gentleman, a friend of mine, Grant Mayberry, did this. He does figures. He does Warhammer. He does stuff. Mostly doesn't necessarily play, but he mostly does the painting up and stuff like that of the figures and stuff. And Jamie liked this so much, he's like, here. So, but yeah, he did a fantastic job. There's saliva dripping down off the tongue.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't go to I'm going to take some pictures of it later, but yeah,
that's awesome.
It was a fantastic piece, and it was like, wow.
I love it.
Did great.
There's
some more of Grant's works. He does these busts and figures and stuff. So.
Yep. And I am moving kind of quick just because there's so many, but if there's something you guys want to talk about or want to...
No, keep going. You're fine.
Let me know.
This was cool. The Bushwhacker is 3D printed, and he scaled it up from a BattleTech figure to a little bit bigger size to the detail. It was great. The World War I ambulance was, I think it's a Cooper State models or Copper State models that did a really good job with it. So,
really, really good.
Neat.
That camo pattern blows me away.
Yeah, that's another one of the ones from the other side of that display. The gentleman that had the Japanese planes, because you can see the tribute there. But the camos that he did were all fantastic. So
yeah, really good. The background is just amazing. That camo pattern.
Yeah,
just amazing.
Very cool.
Love it. So much time put in that.
Now, Mark, let me ask you a question. Are there stencils available for that, or is that pretty much by the month? It's all freehand.
That is all freehand.
And now, are there actual stencils available, and this guy just happened to do it freehand, or is that's just how these are?
No, there's not really stencils available for the most part. There's most everything. When you see a camouflage like this, whether it's the German variety or in this case, the Japanese variety, it's typically going to be free-handed. There is an Italian smoke ring camouflage where it's just these little googly circles or whatever, and they're all circles. There are a couple of companies that came out and did decals or decals for you folks who don't know how to pronounce it right.
If you're British, they're called transfers.
Yeah. no, yeah. So, but but yeah, but for the most part, when you see it like this, that guy freehanded. That's airbrush. That's freehanded on. Very few people can do a mask like that. So it's really
it'd be a hard one to do.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that jet.
Yeah, he did it. This was like an F-20, a company called Scott Models or Freedom Models. Out of one of Kinetic Arms came out with this. It's the F-20 that was basically they did a couple of prototypes back in the 80s, and it never really went anywhere. It was like an upgrade for the F5, and so this company came out and said, "Hey, let's do a what if," and they did that. And it's like I've got one of the kicks. I picked it up a couple of years ago when it was released, and I was like, "Oh, I got to build one of these." I saw this on the table. I'm like, "Ooh, I know it's on next year's table."
See, even fine scale modelers do the same thing that us miniature modelers do. Like, oh, gotta have one. Whether you get to it or not, just gotta have it.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. So this is Rob's the other side where, like you said, Jeff, coming through down the road. So
now you can start. Now you can really see the Gundam aspects of that Captain America.
Yeah. So
very cool.
I think there's another picture here. Yeah, I think I duplicated.
Yeah, there's a couple of them probably. I took 2 or 3 pictures of things. So yeah, I'm not surprised.
There we go.
Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the natural metal finish he did on it was really, really good.
Yeah,
good work.
Really good. Looks really good.
Just love it.
So this is a F-35C. I think this is the new Tamiya kit, and one of the cool things about this is that the paint is an oxide. It's got an iron oxide in the paint for the stealth camouflage. And if you look at the real ones, they're rusted. The paint is getting a rust colored along the spines where the guy's walking on it and stuff like that.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's really got some really good effects. There's a couple of them here at the show, and the guys have done really fantastic job. A friend of mine, Robbie Knopf's out of Canada, did one that he's known on YouTube as the model guy. He did one here recently, and he nailed it. Him and a guy named Justin Lentz, another friend, that they both Justin copied Robbie. Let's put it that way. Robbie did it first. So,
well, going back to Mike's question about bases earlier, for me, now this is not the model is fantastic, but the natural wood bark on the base for me takes away from the model
to some degree. Yeah,
it doesn't appeal to me. And again, I'm not criticizing his work. It's great, but when as a spectator, as a viewer, I look at that and I'm going to use the word rustic or natural look there doesn't fit what I see on top of it. And it actually takes away from it. Just to give you guys an example of how a base can affect the model, for me, it just takes away.
Well, like when you look at the one in the background with like the wood frame just going around it, makes it look like a picture.
Right.
And actually helps tell that story where that's kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah. No, it does.
If you look at the like somebody took, there's some pictures of the there's some pictures of my Booker where I actually put it on the wooden base. Most of the pictures, like the one I took at the end and stuff with the awards and stuff, it's not on the wooden base display base I have here at the house. I actually, because we drove, I had this honking, base done by Bases by Bill, did that, and they laser etched it and put the nameplate and all the stuff on there for it, and it looks really good. And
David brings up a good point. If it was World War II, it'd probably look a little bit better. I would agree with that. The theme, I've seen it a little bit.
The term unfinished pops into my head.
Yeah.
It just takes away from me. It doesn't fit right. So
no, that's one of the things. That's where a lot of IPMS shows and stuff where guys will do bases like that, and because the bases don't count, they can do it on whatever they want, however they want.
Well,
and
the other reason I bring it up,
affect judging of the act.
Yeah. The reason I bring it up is a lot of times I've told this in a lot of my classes that I've run for just basic miniature painting is a mediocre model or a mid-range quality model can be improved by just putting the detail and the same effort you put into the model into the base.
Yep.
And a fantastic model, and model that's painted absolutely, I mean, Golden Demon level entry on a poorly done base, that will affect the overall view of the model. And that's kind of why I tell people that all the time. And that's kind of what I see there, is that the base just takes away from the great work he's done on the actual model.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, anyway. There it is. There's that plow.
Yeah, there's a snow.
Love that weathering.
Yeah,
that's how it would look in Michigan. It would just be covered in all kinds of mud.
He had the sand and gravel in the back. Oh yeah, he did a fantastic job on this. Really,
it's such a unique subject matter. Like, it's a snowplow. Like, why would anybody paint up a snowplow? Well, if you live in Michigan, they're kind of a regular thing, but here in Arizona, we don't see a whole lot of those. So
one of the things that I found out when I started working in the hobby industry and working in model places is the fact when I found out that there was an entire group of modelers that really only model commercial liners, jetliners.
Yeah.
They just build, 747s and 127s and that's their thing. And it just that's where I kind of learned that anything can be somebody's interest.
Yep.
And the amount of detail. I mean, being a military model and miniature model.
To be honest, Jeff,
go ahead.
There's subgroups within the automotive group that do just commercial vehicles as well, like this dump truck or semi trucks or tow trucks and things of that nature. So
I know guys that do nothing but construction
and do all these different commercial vehicles.
Yep.
Love it though.
Yeah, it's so new. I mean, it's kind of a niche of a niche of a niche, but it's just anything out there is a possibility. So it's just kind of fascinating to me, because it's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. And
he may have driven a snowplow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at all these.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's yeah, this gentleman, his name's Joe Porche. He's out of Las Vegas. He's a pretty good guy. And he's a good friend. And so
he won my heart with 3 Volkswagen buses sitting in a row. Like, those 3 Volkswagen buses just look amazing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I didn't even see those. There's so much.
Oh yeah, he does a really good job with them.
Yeah.
Dude, those stood out to me.
Yeah, like he actually did quite a bit. We ended up
I just focused in on those. Those were just awesome.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
There they are.
Yeah. The one's like a fire truck and looks like a kayak's on top of the other one.
This one's kind of cool with the surfboards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surfers.
Yeah, some of those are from the Joe Daniels or Tom Daniels.
Yeah.
Tom Daniels collection, which is a guy who does the old vintage Revell kits and stuff. This is an Edward kit. The cool thing about this model is Mr. Moore, Jeremy Moore did this, and it's pretty fantastic because what he did was, this is an Edward kit. It recently came out. It's a P40, P40E. The cool thing is that he was actually contacted by the pilot's daughter.
Oh.
Of this actual aircraft. Yeah. Right. So a family friend reached out and said, "Hey, would you be willing to sell the model?" And he's like, "Yeah, I usually don't," or whatever. And then it turns out that he was basically the markings for the pilot. He was later reached out. It was on behalf of the gentleman's daughter. The actual, he's like, "Yeah, this is my father's plane." And I was like, "Holy crap, really? Okay." She's in Australia, so he's considering sending it over there. So I think that's what was going on. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
Oh, that's fantastic.
He did a fantastic job. I think it got best aircraft, it got best British subject. So it was
very cool.
Definitely a really good job.
Oh, look at that weathering.
My second favorite aircraft.
B-47. Yeah, he does. Jeremy did he also did a seminar on doing natural metal finishes at the show. So he talked about doing the process like for his P-47 here and stuff like that. So
I'm not sure. I don't think he has it down yet. Sarcasm.
Yeah, I think it might need work, but
It's gorgeous. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on that sarcasm there, Jeff.
Yeah. And the P-47 is a phenomenal plane.
Yeah.
My third favorite aircraft.
He did a really good job on this kit. John.
Yeah.
Love the.
Absolutely.
The picture doesn't do it justice because it's got really nice tonal variation between the panels.
Yeah.
Good morning, Robert.
Morning, Robert. Very nice. Very cool stuff. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Jets.
Very cool.
People
love
these
guys that did phenomenal jets. So
just a ton of good stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's a rough kit too. I mean, it's from a company called Kinetic.
Okay.
It's the guy added some cockpit details and stuff on it. He did a really phenomenal job with it.
This is an intruder, yeah?
Prowler. It's actually
Prowler.
Yeah, it's based on the 4-seat version of the intruder. Same platform. Okay. They just stretch the nose because this is the electronic countermeasure version.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I recognize the nose, and the 4-seater was what was throwing me off.
Yep.
Woo.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, nice U2. Guy did a phenomenal job. There's a gentleman that was at the show who lives here in Denver, was a U2 pilot, and he saw the gentleman's model and was talking to him and stuff. And the guy had a T-shirt on with like U2 and stuff, for the thing. And he started telling him like this, and my friend was being a bit coy with it, like, "Oh, you did a great model." I'm like, "Dude, just tell him." He's like, "I wasn't going to." He's like, "Yeah, I flew U2s and I actually flew that plane." So,
fantastic. Oh, look at this!
Look at that.
A kid a kid. He's in his 20s for crying out loud.
Very nice.
So, kid out of Denver. He made the drive over with him and another friend that come over to the house. That for my little local club here, they come over. He did a really great job on these.
I think I'd be more excited about collecting poker chips and anything at the show.
To be honest, it's great for feedback because you get the
absolutely.
So
good stuff. Look at that.
Look at those. Love them.
Very, very cool.
Black tips on the top of the flames.
Yep. Very nice. Very, very nice.
Very nice.
So some guys, again, this is like Pat Brown's. He had his display and stuff like this as well. You could see, for some of the guys, they went for more height. I'll probably end up doing that, copying them next year and doing that, condensing it, going higher and doing different things with the.
No, that's good.
Yeah, because those are just card tables, so people got to kind of bend over to look. So if you can get some height, it just makes it easier for them to see everything.
Yeah, some shows will put stuff. Some shows, like last year at Madison and IPMS Nats, they'll put risers, PVC risers on the table to get them up and stuff, and that's been good. The tables here at the National Guard Armory weren't really. They were like the kind of like the stow and fold away tables like you had for elementary school. And seriously, they had the chairs that you sat down, and it was like. I haven't sat that low since I was a kid.
David wants to find an F-16 and F-35 with Luke markings.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be great.
David might be able to help you with that because are some aftermarket. I think a couple companies are coming out with Luke Air Force Base with some of the markings. So,
there we go.
Little local tie. Oh, look at this! This is awesome.
This will never fly.
This is Penelope.
Okay. That's the name.
So this is Penelope is a gentleman by the name of John Everett out of Denver. Okay. He lives in Vegas and he's also, he works at whatever, he's a pilot. So he's out of Denver and also got a place in Vegas. He bounces between the two cities for work. So anyways, scratch built. Penelope is 100% scratch built. He used taxidermy eyes for her. She is big. this is 1-to-1 scale. So
Really?
what he did was he figured it out, worked with, did all of his research. He likes dinosaurs. He likes Star Wars. Like he scratched building the bus from Mandalorian, or Andor or whatever, one of the Star Wars buses. That's what's below her beak there. That he's working on there. But she is 100% scratch built, sculpted, done up. I like this. She's phenomenal. Fantastic. We actually, Jamie and I transported her to Texas for the San Marcos IPMS Nationals a couple of years ago because she sat in the back seat. So, and at the time we had her on he dropped her off a couple of days and she was sitting on the coffee table and Tuffy was not a happy camper. He was like, what is this? Yeah, it was
that's amazing.
But she is beautiful. He did a fantastic job on her. He's got a couple of these, but yeah, it's just
the Star Trek holodeck back here caught my eye. I didn't see any more pictures of that, by the way.
No, probably not.
Yeah, that's what that is. No, that's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Love it.
Yeah, she's phenomenal. This is a vacuform kit.
Really?
Right?
Yeah. This is a 48 scale. I believe it's a 48 scale Sterling, and it was all old school vacuform kit.
And
did a hell of a job on it. So
yeah, you did on that.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yep. This gentleman here, Rod, he's out of Colorado here. He went over and he did a couple of airplanes. His P-51, I think, got bronze. So, but yeah, he brought his Space Marine Army and stuff like that. This was his first time at the show, and he did a fantastic job. He's one of the gentlemen that comes over for the club here that I host out of the house. And,
that's awesome.
He took, like I said, it would bring whatever you want. You're going to show. There's a couple of orcs, like from a guy named Justin Lentz and stuff like that. He did his orcs display and stuff, which is just.
I'm wondering if these are salamanders.
I believe they're salamanders.
Yeah, they look. The color. I didn't see any of the markings, but they look like salamanders.
Yeah. Well, they're surrounded by airplanes, so
yeah,
they've conquered the airfield.
They conquered the airfield, yes.
The salamanders think it's a target-rich environment. So
there it is. There's what I was looking for right there.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yep. No, very nice. And this guy, you said this one here won bronze?
Yep. I believe he got a bronze for it. Yep.
Very, very cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Very nice.
He did a 0 and he did a 48 scale. So the 0 is an old school Tamiya kit. And then he did the 48 scale kits. Those are also 48 scale, same scale as the aircraft. The Kubelwagen and then the staff car.
Fantastic.
Excuse me, Schwimmenwagen, not the Kubelwagen. So,
there. Look at that. He put a penny next to it so
you
can see the
Somebody was going around the show putting pennies. I don't know. We didn't understand the symbolism. We don't know, didn't understand what it was.
I instantly thought you put it there for scale.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
We used it for scale when we took the picture because he was asking me for Derek's a good friend and we've gone through and he's like, okay, how can I improve this? And we were just going through talking about it and stuff. I said, yeah, let me get some pictures of this.
It looks great.
Yeah. Love it. Oh, look at this.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's get past these.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so Justin did these. A guy named Justin Lentz out of Lubbock, Texas. Good friend. He's a great guy. He's actually he mostly traditionally does his orcs like in a dry brush method.
Right.
But he'll do dry brush green and stuff like that for the skin tones and do all that and build it up and does really, really good work. He's actually a prolific aircraft modeler.
They look fantastic.
Does orcs. He's a big fan like you, Mike.
Yeah. Well, they're the best.
Yep.
They look really good.
Look at them. Love it.
Look really
good choice of color with the reddish orange on top of the green, which just blends nicely together.
Really good stuff.
I love the Killican.
Yeah,
Killican.
They're the best.
Really, that's the old school one, I mean,
yeah. Very cool.
That's his. So that's a 1/144 scale, 1/144 scale Millennium Falcon. It's probably about 8 inches long. It's the Bandai kit.
Yeah, that's an amazing kit. I think Jeff has one of those.
Not anymore.
Oh, uh-oh.
Nope.
I had the 72nd scale Bandai, but I realized I was never going to get to it, and I wasn't going to build it before I even touched my Corsair. So I was offered some cash about a year ago, and I went, "Yep, okay."
This is so the challenge with the 72nd scale. I mean, it's this big. It's as big as the Leopard.
Yeah.
Right? This is more smaller, and it still has a lot of great detail. All that detail you saw on the bigger Bandai kit is also there on that one. And I have the little brother here, the 350th scale.
And I have the Lego version.
There you go.
Good stuff.
So,
Look at
this
this
is
stuff.
Justin's MiG-29. He did a really good job with this one.
Very cool stuff.
Oh,
Nice.
look at those.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's crazy because some modelers are just really into the planes, and then some are just really into the armor, and then you got the mix in between. But you can just really see people's passion on their displays of what they really like.
Yep. Yeah, it's
very, very cool.
Yeah, this was
what's in the background there, the character model.
So that's actually
that's Rocketeer.
Rocketman. Yeah, Rocketeer. Yeah.
Yeah, Rocketeer.
Yeah, he did a 3D print of the Rocketeer figure. It was basically primed, and he did some Zenthal highlighting and brought it as a work in progress piece.
Yeah, no, it's really good. Really, really nice.
He's from Central Texas. Nice guy.
Him
and his daughter drove up, had a blast. So.
P-47 is nice too. They're all nice, but that one I like that as well. That looks really good.
Yeah. He got gold in that aircraft. That P-47 was phenomenal. So,
David, you don't have a problem. You just love the hobby like the rest of us.
Doug's work here. He's a local guy out of Salt Lake. Great friend. He does, big time Star Wars fan. I mean,
kind of shows.
So, I loved his the B1 that he did, or excuse me, the B-wing that he did there. Yeah. So he just did his land speeder. He did that the snow speeder. Excuse me. He did that in a 48-hour build.
Whoa!
Oh wow!
It's phenomenal. Yeah, he did a phenomenal job. Mine, I got the decals on, and that's the extent of it.
It took you 48 hours to put the decals on.
It took me 48 hours to build the damn and paint it and everything like this. He had his all done, weathered, done, finished.
That's crazy.
Like, dude, really? Okay. So
that's some crazy stuff there.
Yeah.
There's that B-wing.
Did he not put glass in it?
No.
So that way you could really see the detail. That's smart.
Yep. Yeah, he did a really good job with it.
Very cool. Very nice.
Just because the model has glass doesn't mean you need to put it in.
Yeah. And it does let you see that beautiful detail in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a phenomenal job with it.
Yeah. I love that. That's even more impressive when you tell me it's a 48-hour build.
Yeah, that was. I mean, because there's a charity event every March, and we participate. And they host it's for veterans, models for heroes and stuff. And what they do is they host a 48-hour, 48 and 48. It used to be a 48 scale model in 48 hours. Now it's open to all scales. Just build whatever you want, start to finish in that time. So
that's crazy.
Oh, it sounds like something Jeff and I need to do. Look at all the poker chips on that one.
Yep. Wow. We did a good job on that on the P-38.
Dude, that poker chip concept is just amazing.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to keep bringing it up.
I've been mentally designing one for Old Studios while we've been going. That would be awesome.
Well, because if you go to the shop and you're just hanging out the shop and you see someone that painted up a really nice, you can just give them poker chip.
Well, and they're economical too. When I was looking at them, you can get different options. If you want to do them for you guys and stuff, hit me up offline. I'll send you the vendor I got.
I'm just telling you now. Go ahead and send me the link.
Okay, I will.
All right.
I just love the concept behind it. I love how the participants can actually just go around and just show their support.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
this car here, we got some great shots of here in a little bit.
That's a tribute car. There were 8. I got some extra pictures of it. I judged it at Nats in Madison last year. It's a group out of Las Vegas. 8 people built parts of that car.
Oh, wow.
It was a tribute to a gentleman that was in the club that passed away. and they built it, and it was just a collaboration between 8 different modelers of the club. It is phenomenal. I mean, it's wired, plumbed. They got all the wiring and stuff for the carburetors, the whole 9 yards, brake lines. They all did a fantastic job on it. It's just a beautiful piece. So,
Fantastic.
And I love the little lifted truck next to it.
Yeah.
The lifted car next to it. So, oh, is that a Corsair in the background?
it is.
It is.
And that's the B-58 Hustler. It's a nice, it's a rough kit. It's a 50-year-old, 40-year-old, 50-year-old kit. The old Rebel kit. That's the only game in town in 48 scale. It's a rough kit. The guy rescribed it, redid all the detail and stuff. Did a fantastic.
Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful.
So, yep.
The metal finish on that.
There's that.
Look at that.
Yeah, the guy did just a beautiful job on it. The group did a beautiful job on it. So,
what are the translucent? Are those just discs underneath to lift it up so that
that's all they are. Is like little frosted display. I don't know, knick-knack type thing that he used to just prop the wheels up. Yeah.
They're gorgeous. It's just beautiful.
That paint job, that red finish is just polished.
Yeah, they did a great job on it. I mean, it looks really, really good.
When someone says it's candy apple, it should look like that.
Yep, exactly. Agreed.
It should look like that because you got.
And I have this. What's funny is I have this kit, the 41 Willies from Revell, and it's a rough kit. I mean, it's probably 40 years old. So
yeah,
right.
And they did a phenomenal job of it.
Just the deep reds and the gloss and just how clean it is.
Yeah.
And they de-chromed the kit, so they removed all the plating, like we talked about, and then redid all the chrome and magnesium wheels and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, it looks great.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Just an amazing kit. And the fact that it's a tribute kit just adds that much more to it.
Yeah. They did phenomenal.
Well, a good friend of mine did Necrons that had that red look, and I was just thinking that well done candy apple red on this would look really great on Necrons.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's just phenomenal. Just absolutely gorgeous. Very cool.
Little action scene.
Did a nice little diorama here and stuff. It was good. Nice job. Nice work.
A lot of cool stuff here.
Yeah, I love
this is a display from a gentleman, Gary Baker.
Right.
He's actually a very well known. He's a very well known figure painter. Originally from Australia, lives in San Diego, I think now, or Southern California now.
Yeah.
But he was there. He gave the figure painting seminar and stuff. He does. I mean, his work is just classic historical and fantasy figure stuff. So
yeah.
Right. Well, just to give you guys an idea, we're literally like 3 pictures away from halfway.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Keep going. Just my apologies. Yeah. Go ahead.
There's some figure stuff.
And yeah, it's just absolutely gorgeous. Because this is picture 71.
Yeah, with the flesh tone and in the face and everything like that, it's just amazing.
Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous.
Love it. Love everything about his work.
Yeah, he did fantastic work. So.
And bust work is a whole nother thing. It's so much larger, and you got to really get that flesh tone down.
Yeah, his work up close was just phenomenal.
Like if you just took that guy with the jacket on and just did like a black background, you probably wouldn't be able to tell it wasn't a person.
Correct. Yeah.
Great stuff.
Look at that. Yeah. Mom's. Is that Mom's car?
Morris. No, Morris. Morris.
I missed. Yeah, I did. Yeah, it looked like another M.
Oh, okay. No. Yeah, Mike Morris.
Okay.
He's out of Vegas.
Morris, my mom's. Where's the thing? I'm looking down here, going, what? Where's the say that?
My blurry vision, everything's kind of blended together.
Glasses, Mike. Glasses. You need glasses.
Oh yeah, I should probably put my glasses on.
I actually did this. Oh, we missed one, Mike.
Yeah, that's all right.
All right, go ahead. Sorry about that.
It happens. No, very cool.
The Roman hearing in the background.
Yeah.
No, very nice stuff.
Yeah. friendly.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Streaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a phenomenal job on that. I think, yeah, they did really good.
Really good.
He did so the camouflage is all hand painted on that, or the next picture. Sorry.
On this one? Oh,
So,
we're very nice.
The best piece. So he did all that. That's kind of a crappy picture, Mark. Way to go. Because the white is actually bands around on the barrel. It's actually their kill markings, if you will.
Right.
Oh.
On the gun. So
wasn't most camouflage painted in the field?
Yes and no.
Right.
So some of it was factory, like especially mid-war to late, and I'm sure somebody's going to correct me or whatever. But yeah, some vehicles received it in the factory, especially in the tricolor camo. Some of them, like this, were probably field applied. This is definitely I believe would be field applied.
Right.
That's the way it was. It came out as Dunkelgelb, which is the tan.
Hold on.
The green.
Hold on. David's got to take off. He's got to go to work. So, David, thank you for hanging out with us. I'm glad you felt some inspiration, because that's why we're doing this, is to inspire people to just see some other things and try some different things. So I will probably see you later today, David. So get a big pile of stuff ready for me.
All the pictures we're showing are on the Discord, guys. You can go through them at your own pace.
Yeah.
So they're all on the Discord channel. So.
Yep.
Oh, I'm home.
your favorite shows.
Some of my favorite shows.
Yeah, that's the Enterprise is pretty cool. It's a 1/350th scale kit.
Yeah.
They got real lighting in it, or is that the?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can actually pick those kits up with the lighting. So I've got all those kits actually. They're right now right next to my Corsairs.
Yeah, but with lighting techniques these days, some people are painting that kind of a look.
Yeah. No,
that one's lit up. Matter of fact, there's the Voyager as well that I don't know if I got a picture of, but the Voyager, the guy actually drilled out the windows and had you could see the staterooms.
Oh, really?
Tables, chairs, people, stuff. Yeah.
That's some crazy stuff.
Look at that. You can see it plugged in now.
Very good stuff. Yeah, these kits actually come with. You can actually get them with a light. They have a lighting kit with them. And then you can also buy aftermarket kits for them as well. So
yeah, that's the Polar Lights kit.
Yeah. Yep.
I have the one from the movie. So
I have every version of this ship that they make a model for. I mean, of the Enterprise, whether it's the original, the refit, A, B, all of them. Yeah.
Look at that.
I'm a nutbag. So very nice.
Yep.
Dun 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 dun.
Very cool.
This is JC Osborne out of California. He's a good guy.
Look at that.
This is just cute.
Yeah, it is. It's a great little kid. It's like somebody's been almost inspired from Red Alert, you know?
Yeah. We can't shoot that. It's too cute.
It's too cute. Leave it alone.
Don't shoot it. Look
at it. It's unarmed, maybe.
Yeah.
Just was like, wow. Most tanks look menacing. That just looks wow. That's awesome.
I want to go up and get an ice cream cone from them.
Yep. Very cool. The kangaroo pattern.
Yeah.
Yep. Didn't the Australians also do a jackrabbit pattern as well?
I don't know.
I distinctly remember seeing where they actually did a camouflage pattern, and they were all shaped like a side view of a jackrabbit in different angles along the tank. I'll have to look it up and send you the pic. Like crazy stuff.
I think the Wyoming National Guard has one in jackalope, but that's just me.
Very cool stuff.
Yeah. Great vehicles.
You got guys doing cars that were there. Like I said, all genres. Everybody brought all kinds of stuff. So.
Everything is there. That's
look
cool.
at that.
Yeah. Very, very nice.
Yeah. This
was very cool.
72nd scale Hasegawa kit. Guy did it. I love the way he did the base.
Yeah.
Motion and stuff because just take it off and.
Yeah. Yep.
And he's just going straight up.
Yep.
Well, straight up, but
leaving right after takeoff, pulling up. So.
Yeah.
Leaving AB rings on the landing strip.
Yeah.
Very cool.
What is that in the background? Go back. What is that?
So that's Wally
Wally.
Oh,
Yeah, paper model.
Well, that's Wally. That's Voyager. And that's a Gundam.
Voyager. Yeah.
And I think that's a Gundam too.
Yeah, so he did a Gundam there, but most of those on the backside of that display were all paper models.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
Yeah.
Very
Okay.
I
cool.
can't remember if I got a picture of Wally or not. This was cool.
Yeah.
This actually got people's choice. The guy was the giant ball and stuff called Scavenger. So
Wow. That's awesome.
Kind of looks like a helmet, but then again,
yeah.
oh, Gundam.
Yep.
Gundam kits.
Yep.
Look at that.
Very nice.
You had some from juniors. You had some from all different folks.
Nice
That's
wings.
fantastic.
I like how he did his wings.
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. I really like how they modeled the crowd in the background.
Yeah.
It looks really good. I was really happy with that. That's really, really impressive.
Yeah, I saw my wife's butt in the picture earlier. I was like, oh, okay. So I recognized the outfit. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to say that.
Gentle weathering on that car is just awesome.
Yeah. It's a junior.
What's that?
This was a kid.
Oh, really?
Seriously. The display here was a kid. I was one of the folks judging it, and everybody's like, oh, wow, this is really awesome. And I had to point out, this is a junior category. The kid he did this. He did the RX-7 in the background, and he did a little tractor that I got a few pictures of. The tractor was phenomenal. Both of the cars were good. And we're like, this is a kid?
Yeah, there's
Talented
your future
kid.
right there.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Yep.
Very nice. That is such a nice, smooth finish.
Yeah.
Real clean.
Really good.
Oh, that's the farm tractor Porsche, isn't it?
Yeah. Actually, it's the Case, the American farm tractor that came up from Thunderbolt. Yeah.
I think my grandfather owned something similar to that.
I think most of our grandfathers probably owned something similar.
And you know what's sad is they're still running.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like it right along. Very nice. Very nice base work too. I mean, that display base is just phenomenal.
Yeah, the kid did a hell of a job on it. So.
Yeah. This is the same kid?
Same kid.
Oh, wow. Just some talent there.
He's going to be around doing a lot of good stuff in the future. I can see that.
Very nice.
Star Blazers Dreadnought.
Yep. Submarines.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Very cool.
Yep.
We'll stay here for a while. Very nice. Very nicely done.
This is a new kit from Magic Factory. The guy did a phenomenal job on it. The cool thing, this is the same company that did my Booker.
Okay.
Right?
And they actually produced the kit of the Corsair, and they give you both wing options, one with the wings down or one with the wings folded.
Really?
Yep.
So every kit they come with has basically two complete wings, one folded, one down. So it gives you
What that means for guys like us is we'd have to own two.
They also make a dual combo kit, so you can get two.
There you go. Well, that's convenient.
That's smart.
It is. It's really good. It's economical.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
That's the one. This rib cage is just beautiful.
That's the 32nd scale kit. That is the kit you have, Jeff.
That is just a beautiful work. Oh my God, that's fantastic.
Good morning, Greg. How are you, buddy?
Hey, buddy.
What's up, Bubba?
Hey.
Look at that. I love how it's all weathered down too. Like,
Hey, Greg.
You guys did a phenomenal job on it. So.
Greg, let me introduce you to FH. On the screen there. He's I don't know if you know him or not. We played some tribes together at one point.
Last time he and I saw each other, we were at a coffee shop on Games Day in 2002. Anyway.
There you go. It's been a while.
I'm just gonna have to go out there and meet you one day, Mark, just so I can say I met you the same amount of times Jeff's met you.
You want to meet him? You want to stay friends with him? And there could be something behind this. You only can meet him once.
There's a rule.
So if he meets you, yeah.
Okay. You can talk to him online all you want for years. You'd be great friends, but I'm not sure if he and I meet again, what's going to happen. It's going to be kind of scary.
Yeah,
no kidding. Awesome. Yeah.
It's going to break the universe.
Yeah. It's like the three. I feel like I want to play tribes now. I just want to start playing some tribes.
But sure, there's a server running somewhere.
This model just blows me away.
The guy did a fantastic job on it. I mean, it really is.
This carrier deck is just the landing strip is just fantastic. I love it. I love everything about it.
PSP blading and stuff. Yeah.
Yep. No, fantastic. Such a beautiful kit.
Look at that. What's on the back wing? Is that just stowage, or is
it's a parachute.
okay?
So the guy had a parachute, like where the pilot took it off and just set it on the back.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep.
So he's done with his mission. He's just going to go take a break.
And here it is again. A little bit of detail on the base. It would have been so simple to cover this entire base, but there's that little strip of sand.
A little bit of dirt.
Yep, because they threw
these
these down.
blading that was used for the ground-based Corsairs. So they put.
Yeah, but I just again, it's just that detail, that little bit of thought.
Yep.
Because let's let people know what this actually is.
Yeah.
You know, that's what makes it. So, well, it looks like I'm not getting any miniatures painted today. I'm probably gonna play around with my Corsair.
Oh, there you go.
No, I can't do that.
Well, and you can see his modulation under his paint too.
Yeah, no, yeah,
like it's just phenomenal.
Great stuff.
Yeah, that's those early schemes are fun because they're pretty much just two tones. I mean, you've got that intermediate blue on the upside, and then the gray, light gray on the underside versus the tricolor scheme.
No, that's just beautiful.
Well, no.
There's Justin's. That's that 1/44th
different angle.
Scale.
This ship will never become popular. I just don't see it.
No, I don't think the Star Wars thing's going to last.
It's not going to take off. If it hasn't become popular by now, it's never going to.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely good work. Really good work.
Yeah.
Even the
action scene.
Yeah. I brought he stopped at the house before him and his wife went up and took a vacation away from the kids and stuff like that. So they went up to Yellowstone and for 2 weeks or whatever. They stopped up just like the week before and stayed with us the night on their way up. And he's like, "Would you take my models to the show?" I'm like, "Sure, no problem." So we hauled him over, and then as he's winning awards, I'm like, I should have just left him in Wyoming at a rest stop. So
Yeah, Victor, I don't know what the Star Wars thing is, man.
Yeah, it'll blow over eventually. Ah, look at that.
Yeah, this is a gentleman, Scott Gentry, his Y-wing. He custom made that base. I mean, it's all scratch built, styrene, everything like that, and little bits and bobs and stuff and gibblies.
What I like about that photo, what I like about that photo is he's got the tune tank in the background.
Yeah,
and the little tune tank.
There it is.
Yeah,
I like the way though he incorporates the flight stand into the base where it actually you lose it. You lose the flight stand a bit, and how the base is kind of complementary to where that flight stand is at.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job with it. Yeah. It's one of my favorite pieces of him.
It's a really good piece. Really good piece.
Yeah.
Woo!
What is in the middle? Is that like a micro scale?
Those are waterline ship models.
1/700 scale waterline ships.
Okay.
Waterline modeling is something kind of intense because the model only really goes to the waterline.
Yeah.
And they're using this fantastic stuff.
Yeah, the guy did fantastic work.
But he's also got tanks on display. It all looks like micro armor scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are probably that when he,
Very cool.
His
look at that.
That 35th scale, the submarine command tower is great. That's 35th scale. Great job.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
He also did the I think I've got pictures of his stuff where he did the Smog Riders figures. Yeah, I think those might be a little later. But
Oh, look at Boba Fett.
Slave One.
Yeah.
So there's a cool thing here is that there was a table as you walked into the entrance. There's a table here that basically featured a lot of the organizers and stuff, and brought maulers because one of the things also is you get the social media, we get the poker chips and stuff, but you also get the some folks have been gifting models to other people. Like, for example, in my display case, I've got several models that have been gifted to me over the years from folks. And what they did is everybody kind of brought their models from different folks around the world, okay, and put them on display. Like this is from a friend, TJ Haller. And then the Rick Lawler's B-Wing or A-Wing is next door to it stuff. And Rick Lawler does propaganda. TJ does Orion Paintworks. All these different folks are on social media and stuff. And there's a guy named Peter Fidlotsky who did a Typhoon. and that Typhoon has been a World War II fighter plane. Peter sent it to Justin, and it's actually been to probably 8 or 9 different shows here in the U.S. collecting awards and stuff. And it just basically they ship it to another show and they put it out on display or whatever. So it's just this great community that's been going through. And so this
Fantastic.
had some phenomenal stuff.
Looks really good.
Well, that way people from around the world could actually participate, even though they can't come to that show. It can be, still put on display and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. So, I mean,
didn't they rename it? It's no longer Slave One. I don't.
Yeah, it's called the Fire Spray Starfighter or Star.
Okay. Yeah.
They dropped the Slave One name.
Okay. There's that shit again.
Is that Y-wing again? This model's very interesting, very cool looking.
This year the guy did this is the guy that had the ships that we were just looking at. And this is from Smog Riders, I guess a game, miniatures and stuff like that, or something coming up. Yeah. The guy just did phenomenal paint job on these figures. They come in like a set with this or whatever, and I think you can get them from Michigan Toy Soldier or whatever where they were hosting it, that type of thing. But it ended up with Jamie gave it she gave out a special award that we get to pick and choose. And the previous photo of the guy, this one here, this got her Tastiest Choice Award.
Tastiest Choice.
It was sponsored by our rub company, Spices, Sweets, and Meat. So
it's absolutely great.
Yeah.
Yeah, the eyes, the way the guy did the eyes, almost anime style, it had a very World of Warcraft type vibe to it, and they were all just phenomenal.
Great stuff.
Love it.
Yep.
Unique models.
Fukatchu.
Really awesome work.
Very cool. Very nice stuff.
And there's some more of the displays of the different people's models.
Just overwhelming the number of kits in this show. Just how much is actually there.
Yeah, there were upwards of around 800 plus models at the show.
That's amazing.
Like I said, this is the second year for it, so they're actually expecting more people to come.
Oh, that's awesome.
This is these last few pictures of the tables of models, like I talked about, where they brought in other people's models from around the show and stuff, or from around the country, and different models and stuff that were there.
Great stuff.
Jensen's Stewart for the M3 Stewart that's in the barn there. I've got a better picture of it later.
Right.
But, that one there. Yeah. So.
Oh, look at that poor Sherman.
Very cool.
So if you've been in scale modeling you'll know the name Francois Verlinden.
Okay.
Francois Verlinden was a prolific modeler in the 80s and 90s. And he actually started they started Verlinden VLS.
Yep.
Okay. Verlinden, Letterman, and Stock. And in the 90s, they produced aftermarket sets. They were one of the first companies to do aftermarket resin sets like this. This is actually Francois Verlinden's one of his models. Okay. And he did books and stuff. Yeah, Greg, he did books and stuff like that. So one of I think it was JV or somebody, one of the folks there maybe brought one of Francois's. They actually had one of his actual pieces. He passed away a number of years ago, but yeah, I mean,
I still have back somewhere a Verlinden Imperial Japanese Samurai.
Yep,
it's actually a very, very gorgeous kit.
Yeah, it was one of his models.
It's mounted, and I did the horse in oils.
Yep.
My first attempt at using oils on a miniature. And I took it as a work in progress to a show in Phoenix, and actually got a bronze just for because the horse was done. I just hadn't finished the rider yet.
Yep.
And I did it. I did it in oils, and it was my first attempt at oils, and it came out really, really nice.
Nice.
I was really happy with it. Very cool stuff there.
This is Theron's stuff. He's one of our club members here at the house.
Got a little. Is that a?
Lunar lander?
Yeah, is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I might have a closer picture. It's a dragon kit. Yeah, the guy did a fantastic job on it. Theron did a fantastic job. Yeah, he replicated the gold foil. The kit actually come with some samples, and he did a really fantastic job with this model. I was watching him build it and stuff. He just, I'm really pleased with he's really pleased with the outcome, and he's every right to be.
Yeah, it should be. That's an amazing looking model.
Really nice looking model kit.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
That whoever did that put a lot of work into it.
Yeah, it's got a lot of detail, a lot of work on it.
There's a lot going on there.
So much work. Look at
Very nice.
This is Robbie Knopf's, the model guy I mentioned, friend of mine up in Canada. He did this F-18. It's just did a really good job of it. He did as the Canadian Air Force. So
looks really nice.
Is it supposed to be like something being built?
Actually, this is actually how this tank sits today, 2025, during a restoration process at a museum. So
very cool.
He got pictures of the actual model from the museum. I believe it's in Australia, and I think that's the one. But he actually got pictures of it, and then Mini Art did the kit for the Stu, German Stug. Okay. And he basically went through and took those pictures of it being restored and built the model. So
very fantastic, very nice.
How it looks, the real one looks today under restoration.
Very cool.
I love it.
There's the Blackhawk from way earlier, and I think he has an award there.
Actually, yeah, this one. So this is actually a relatively new kit from ICM, a company out of Ukraine. They did the Blackhawk, the 48 scale Blackhawk and stuff. And the challenge coin, what you see there is a challenge coin from the Utah Army National Guard. So like I said, this armory, they're right across the road from the, they have Blackhawks and this. This is now on this permanent display at that armory.
Oh, so really?
Fantastic.
So, and Robbie's, he's with the Canadian, don't kill me, Robbie, but he's with the Canadian Air Force, reservists, that type of thing as well, up there, up in Canada and stuff. And, he's a mechanic and stuff. He's, does a great job. So
very nice. Very nice. Very
phenomenal modeler. You can see this being built. He's got a YouTube channel called The Model Guy.
Right.
And he did this, and he did a fantastic job on it. Great guy.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Ooh, this is 3D printed. The whole model. This is from Game. And the guy printed it out, did a phenomenal job. Matter of fact, Jamie's like, so you can get that STL? Yeah. Because she's like, I really like that. I really want it. I'm like, well, okay. So,
that's nice.
That's the first sailing boat I've seen in any of the photos.
Sure.
Yeah, the gentleman brought a wood kit, a couple of wooden kits and stuff like that were there for display. Yeah. So,
very cool.
There's
yeah. So Jensen Taylor, a friend of mine out, he's actually in the UK. He built the barn from scratch. The Stewart is a mini art kit with a full interior.
Ooh.
Wow. He actually brought it over. Jensen came over. The show I went to in May at Amps, he brought it over here. He gifted it to, he was either JB or Scott. And again, they put it on display here. But he did a phenomenal job of it. The barn, the outside of the barn is decorated with like the old cigarette advertisements and stuff like you'd see. He just did a.
I believe we have a shot. I thought we had a shot of it anyway.
Yeah, I can't remember if I got one or not, but
I think there is in a few more picks.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job of it. This was from a gentleman this is the guy who did hammerhead modeling. So you've seen the little challenge, the little poker chips of
shark
like the hammerhead shark. Yeah. This is the guy who does it. He does hammerhead modeling. He's on YouTube as well. Nice guy. He's local to Salt Lake or Utah, I should say. So
very
did
cool.
a really good job of it. All that groundwork and all the blocks, the concrete blocks, that's all carved from foam.
Okay.
Wow.
So
phenomenal. Well done.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Look at that.
King Tiger.
Shingles blown off the roof and everything.
Yeah.
Look at that. Whoa.
So this is the friend of mine, JB's, that I talked about earlier, that this is the model that only had 5 pieces of the original kit left.
Yeah.
So all the tracks, the running gear, that's all 3D printed. It's got a full 3D printed interior.
Just the way he did the tracks around the turret's just awesome.
Yeah, and he actually, the cool thing is that all the additional armor he did, that track armor, he's got those out, set up. Some were taken from different aftermarket sets, things like this. The cool thing is that he actually put, sculpted the weld seams for the tracks on there, mounted to the turret. He's got them shiny, because welds don't rust, right? So I went through and did all that. He just did a phenomenal, JB did a phenomenal job on this. I think he's taking it to SMC again this year. He took it last year, got some positive feedback, did some corrections, fixed a few things and stuff. And I think he's going to do really well with it this year.
Wow, that's good.
Oh, there it is.
Hobbies again. So we'll close up.
Different angles.
Yeah.
Oh,
this is a KV1 from a guy named Brian Krieger, who's here in Denver. He does all the machining Krieger stuff.
okay.
The Mac stuff. He's a prolific modeler in that genre, but he also loves Russian tanks. Poor bastard.
Very cool.
But the camouflaging he did on that's amazing.
Oh yeah, it's phenomenal.
That's great.
He did a really good job about it.
Oh,
I'm flipping back and forth, guys. Sorry.
Go ahead. So this is his King type, Sam Dwyer. There's a gentleman, Sam Dwyer's out of Australia. Great modeler. Met him a couple years ago at Omaha. Just encouraging and just a fantastic modeler.
Right. Very good stuff.
This is Brian's, who did the KV1 with the winter camouflage. This is Brian's. It's a hybrid between a Russian tank destroyer and a Sherman that they actually built. Only a handful of them. But it's just phenomenal. He got gold for it. And
very cool.
Yeah, I've watched it, and his progress on building it was great.
There's my tank.
Yeah, so this is the 48 scale kit from Ryefield, the 35th scale kit from Ryefield that Cody did. Great kit, great build.
Yep.
This is that young man out of that I talked about out of Reno. He did fantastic work with it.
Yeah.
Nice.
We saw his display earlier. So, and there's the 1/16 scale.
Beast.
There you go. Go to Andy's, get the beast.
It's actually sold out.
Is it?
Yeah, online it's sold out. He may have it in the store, but it was sold out online.
That's fantastic.
Love it.
Mm-hmm. That's Cody's little M5A1.
Yeah,
very cool.
He did. Yeah.
Very cool.
Said he's been adding all kinds of details.
Look at that little
World War I ambulance that we saw earlier. Yeah.
Very nice.
There's that. That's the scavenger. Yeah. That thing was massive, like 2 feet tall, lit up, had all kinds of different effects to it. It was really impressive.
Man.
It's an impressive looking model.
Yeah, all scratch built. I mean, like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. That's crazy.
Tank destroyer?
That's the Achilles, the British version of the M10.
Yeah.
Yeah. The gentleman's John Murphy. That's some machining Krieger stuff from Brian. Yeah.
Very cool.
John Murphy is a great, fantastic modeler out of the UK.
Awesome.
Brian did this Krieger. This is one of his machining Kriegers displays. He just does phenomenal stuff with it.
Yeah, really good stuff.
Oh,
this is a beast.
Yeah,
it is. It's a 35th scale Gundam tank. It's a Bandai kit. It's hard to find, but
he took it to the military side for painting it.
Yep, a guy named Martin Drayton. He does a lot of dioramas and stuff like that. Relatively, he's probably only been modeling, I think, since, forgive me, Martin, I think 5-6 years, something like that.
Wow.
I think or back into the hobby. Might have did it as a kid, but yeah. Great guy.
This makes me want to go play some StarCraft.
Yeah, he really does. I mean, it's pretty phenomenal. So.
Yeah, I want to go play some StarCraft. Greg, get back here so we can get online and play some StarCraft.
There you go.
Very cool.
Another Brian's Krieger. Did these ammo nights, so we're like, the tail on that's all scratch built.
Just crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah.
So this gentleman's Brian Kreiner. He's out of he's out of here in Denver. He is a master of natural metal finish. So.
Yeah. Absolutely, I'm playing Terrans as always.
I'll take that.
Very good, very nice. Oh, ooh, what's this over here?
Yeah, there's a couple of those floating around.
They sneak in. It's got to sneak in.
That's what's good about it, though, man. Look at that.
Different angle.
That's that Corsair different angle. Yep.
Yeah. And I gotta say, this angle brings out the texture and the weathering and all the on the actual skin.
Yeah.
Of the aircraft. It just really brings it out. Looks really, really good. Very nice.
Siege tank.
There you go. Absolutely. I don't know where I've seen this.
Oh, I've seen this one before.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
Nah.
No. It looks rushed.
Yeah.
I can't even say stuff like that in good conscience. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love this. Yeah. I absolutely love this model. So, take it away. The most fun is picking on Mark. I can't do it because I like to get too much.
That would have been the early stages of the war. Right after we got in, that's the F-41. That would probably be right after, I want to say around 42, early 43.
Yeah. The color and this part of the canopy.
Yeah.
Let you know where it's at.
And then it's got the dull gray.
Yep.
On the underside.
And the birdcage canopy.
Yeah.
And a little bit later, they went to the tricolor where they had the white on the undersides, intermediate blue, and then the dark sea blue on top.
Yep. So. Yep. And that, again, Mark, phenomenal work, buddy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
That's just awesome.
I got some pretty good feedback on it. I have to. I'm going to be posting an apology to 3 of my friends who judged it, and I was like, "Why did it get silver?" And I'm like, "What did I miss?" And I wasn't upset with them or anything like that. The cool thing about the show is you're just judging against yourself.
Was the feedback, Mark, stop building models? You're making us look bad.
No. No. I was more upset. I was like, "What did I miss?" And I don't know. I might have been a little aggressive.
Look at that.
Just love them.
Fantastic stuff. Love this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gary did a fantastic. This is the gentleman that did the figures and stuff.
That's just amazing.
That's just crazy.
So.
And then there's the venue itself.
That's the venue, and so you can see they got like the elementary school lunch tables.
Yeah.
For the display. So yeah, but it was done well. Everything was good. We had I think 5 rows. You had the vendor areas along the perimeter. I did that, and then different folks doing different things. A lot of fun.
I had to tell you, when I was going through and I was looking at some of the distance on some of the picks, I kind of went, Mark, why aren't you getting a little closer to this? And then I realized when I saw this pick, these tables are actually very, very low.
Yeah. And
I know me, I couldn't be bending over, taking really close shots of everything I came across, or my back would be just shot by the end of the day.
Yeah, because not only did you have the benches nailing you in the shins, but it was like, okay.
That really gives you an idea of just how low those tables actually are.
Yeah, they're like I said, I haven't sat at a table that low since I was in elementary school. So,
but it's still a nice venue, very, very cool. Yeah, and then who are these guys?
So this was basically everybody here is a judge. So you have all the different folks that were here. The cool thing about the show is they handpick all the judges.
Right.
So we're IPMS are like, oh, you might have some volunteers or whatever. No, prior to the show, everybody here was contacted to participate and agreed to go through judges training. And they had 2 judges training, one on Friday afternoon before the show started, and then one on Saturday morning. Okay.
Right.
So, but everybody here, and what they did was because, like I said, they were giving the Air National Guard and stuff like that, were giving tours throughout the event. After the show, they had a private tour for all the judges because we're usually busy out there doing other stuff,
right?
Whatever.
Right.
So, and last year, that was one of the things that kind of bummed me out was I missed the tours. I was like, oh man, because I was judging. I'm like, oh well. Right. So that's what this is. You have all of us there, a motley crew of individuals, and it was like, yep. So cool.
Very cool, though.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. And there's our lovely correspondent.
Yes. That's me and my wife, Jamie. So.
With an Andy's Hobby headquarters T-shirt on.
There you go.
Yeah, I wore my M113 T-shirt.
And I believe that, and then there's this.
And there, that's so. Yeah, I was completely floored. Throughout the event, I mean, I had the booker down there. Folks went through, judged it and stuff. You can see I got the silver medal, and I was just like, I was floored. Last year, the Bradley got a silver medal, and I was overjoyed with that. And this year, I got it, and I was like, first thing out of my mind was silver. Really? I thought I had a gold. Damn, what did I miss? And that's where all of a sudden I was like, I lost. It wasn't the effect of the show. It was just my own. Oh, I started getting into my own head,
Yeah.
And my friends gave me some feedback and all this, and they were telling me like, hey, there's this and that and some other stuff. So I'm like, okay, I got to give reference pictures because they thought that the camouflage had overspray because you could see the green and the white blending, a little overspray here.
Yeah.
But the reference pictures, showed that. So I was like, okay. So here I am all kind of down in the dumps with myself because I got a silver.
Well,
like an
the other thing, though.
Well, then later on, I'm sitting there back there moping during the awards ceremony like this. And I'm seriously, I was like, I am so humbled by this. It's not even, it's not even funny. They call my name for the Judge's Choice Award for the book. So I'm just like, Jamie's like, they just called your name, dumbass. Wake up. What? And we're way in the back, and I worked my way up to the front and stuff like this. My friend Scott, who was the chief guy, head honcho for this whole event, just has this big shit-eating grin on his face, like this, like whatever. And I'm like, it's the Judge's Choice Award. I'm like, are you kidding me? And he's like, I had to do everything I could to keep it together. I was going to be like I was about ready to, I was looking for mascara coming down. I was getting ready to do the whole cry and lose it, get all emotional. My friend Robbie comes up, like, give me a handshake, Scott, a hug, or whatever. And they're the ones they were the judges. So that motley crew of folks, they're the people that actually gave the award out.
Very cool.
They all put their name in a hat for what model should get it. We all volunteered, wrote it on a piece of paper what the Judge's Choice Award is. And they all apparently picked mine. And I was like, and it was funny. Robbie Knopf was giving me a hard time as I was, he was like, he saw it in my eyes. We went to dinner afterwards. He's like, you kept it together until you got to your wife. And then you're like, yep, pretty much. I was in the back of the room and I was like,
yeah. Something like that from your peers is massively moving. And the other thing about judges, I've learned this from competitions. Just take where I was talking about the base taking away from that aircraft model. It really just depends the guy judging that. No matter how well they're trained, no matter what system they use, it all still boils down to the personal preference of that person.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so sometimes you may do everything right, and just one guy was like, it's okay, but whatever happens to be. But that right there offsets all that.
Yeah, it really did. It put it in perspective because I had just talked to Grant Mayberry, a friend of mine, and Rick Lawler. I was sitting down because Grant and John Everett were the two of the judges, and John, he did the dinosaur Penelope, right? And he's like, we sat down. I'm like, okay, what did I miss? And he sat down. It was funny. He sat down on the bench, and I'm standing here because there's no way in hell I'm sitting on the table with that low. I ain't getting up. And so I'm standing here, and I'm trying, and I'm like, what did I miss? I busted my ass. I fixed it from amps. With this, we fixed the road wheel separation from the tracks with damage during transit back in May. And I'm like, what did I miss? Why? And he's like, oh, you had overspray on this. And I'm like, really? And I pull up my reference pictures and I'm like, see this. And he's like, yeah, where's your reference pictures on the model? I'm like, oh, for crying out loud. And I'm like, so when I take it to Virginia, he's like, yep. And I'm like, yep, lesson learned. I got it. But it was like, it's one of those things. They had the criteria and all this. And I'm like, okay. And then I went and talked to Grant, and Rick was sitting there. They were doing demonstrations and stuff. and we're chatting with him and stuff. And Grant's a great guy like this, and I'm not trying to be aggressive or anything like that or whatever. It's one of those things like what I was more upset with myself. Like, what did I miss? I missed something. My peers gave me a silver, not a gold. Okay, got it. But what did I miss? Like last year for the Bradley, they told me, yeah, here's the feedback you got. Okay, I went through and I got it. And I made sure this year I was like, what did I do? So as I'm sitting here going through this, having this conversation with Grant, apparently about 3 or 4 minutes before I sat down and we were talking, he was just notified that everybody else had selected me for the Judge's Choice Award. So he's sitting there with this look on his face. And he's an Army guy. He's like our age, and he's Iraq the whole night. Desert. Yeah, he was a career Army guy, and he's just sitting there like, would you just shut the hell up, Mark? But he just had this look on his face like, I'll give you the feedback, but it's gonna be okay, Mark. Right? Okay, fine.
I want to say more. I want to say to people watching, hang on a minute. All right, what you're seeing, folks, right now is you're getting a very, very, very intimate look at the mind of a perfectionist.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't argue with that because that's one of those. My ADHD gets the best of me at times. Like
prior to the rebooting of his brain, when he got the People's Choice Award, he was going, "What did I do wrong? What did I miss? What wasn't done correctly?" That is the mind, and quite frankly, as a miniature painter, a model builder, it's something that we all deal with.
Yep.
And the best advice I ever got when I would be like that is someone said, a model is never finished, it's just abandoned.
Yep.
No matter how well you do it, there's always something at the creator's mind. In the creator's mind, I could have done better or different. Yep. So there you go.
And it's true. And the cool thing about this show is that they're like, hey, they try to focus away from the negative, where like the IPMS judging, we look for the negatives to, basically, because it's a 1, 2, 3 event where, you're doing triage, like, oh, that's got a flaw, and you're like, which has the less flaws?
Right.
That's 1, 2, 3. Okay. This one, it's like, where's the positive in the display? You're not really looking for the negatives, but when I'm judging other people's stuff, I'm like, oh, this is really good. They did this, they did that, they did this. And you're missing that you're not focusing on the negatives. But in my case, I'm looking at my own model going, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they give me the judges award. And it's funny. They get the judges, I get the award, and I'm like, wow, I feel like an asshat. Okay. And so I was just humbled by it. And
I bet.
We get to dinner. We go to dinner afterwards for this stuff. And we're standing there in line for dinner. And Grant and Rick were there right there with us. And Grant just looks at me. He's like, see, I told you it was going to be all right. I'm like, oh, for crying out loud. You knew the whole time I was sitting there asking about what flaws I had in the model, what I missed. He's like, yeah, about 2 or 3 minutes before you got there, I found out that you got the judge's score. Because that's why I said, it's going to be fine, Mark. You're good. Okay. I'm like, and I was just like, oh, but what did I miss? Oh, and it's so humbling.
First of all, Greg is also talking about the comment about individual judges' preferences and biases is super important.
Yeah.
And that you just can't account for it all. So there you go. Yeah. And the thing you really have to take to heart with all this is no matter what you do or how hard you try, you don't have an award-winning thing. I do. So that ends it right
there. That's all we hear about your thing.
It's award-winning.
Award-winning thing. Sorry. Your award-winning thing.
It's absolutely gorgeous work. It's absolutely beautiful work. But what I really wanted to convey, besides just taking a chance to pick on Mark, is that we all go through that at various levels.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. And the biases when we were in a tournament when I was with GW, and I've told the story 100 times. I want to tell it again, just live with it. I had done a lot of work converting up a themed Bretonnian army that was the color scheme was based on the Man in the Iron Mask, the Musketeers look in the Man in the Iron Mask. So they were all black, silver and gold fleur-de-lis. They all had the Musketeer hat. And the judge, whose name I will not say here, walked up, looked at me, looked at them, said, Bertonian shouldn't be black, and kept walking. And I got a goose egg. And for the longest time, I beat myself up for that. Because I had written a story to explain why they did. I explained everything was there. But the preferences of that particular judge had a vision of how Bertonian should look, and he didn't like it. And sometimes you can't avoid that. You just got to deal with it.
No, all judging is, as Greg said, all judging is, it's subjective. It's up to that judge.
Well, and to be honest,
biases and preferences, we've seen things like that where, where you get. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been at judging shows, Jeff, and stuff like that comes into play. Even though we sit there in judges' meetings and stuff and say, look, your personal biases, you're judging what's on the table. You're judging what that modeler did. You don't, if the kit has, one of the things they always talk about is not correcting accuracy. If the kit manufacturer built an inaccurate M1 Abrams, okay, you shouldn't penalize the modeler for it. They don't have to go fix it. If they're just building the kit out of the box, or they add some stowage or whatever, do what I did here with the Booker. You just add a few minor details. You're not correcting anything, flaws of the kit. Okay, you shouldn't get penalized for it. And most cases that we tell the judges during those meetings not to do that. Sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
No, I would be more excited about the 3 poker chips.
Actually, yeah, I was pretty stoked.
me,
Cody Kaczynski gave me those, and it was pretty cool. So
yeah, that's just like, these are fellow model builders in the competition with you, the whole 9 yards, and they're like, dude, it's just a gentle nod of just saying, I really like what you're doing. They're from people that are in the YouTube sphere, and they have clubs and groups and all that. Yeah. And they're like representing everybody from that sphere and saying, we like what you did. So that to me is really cool.
They're pretty awesome. I've got from the different shows, like I said, since about Vegas, we started seeing them up. So the last couple of years at different shows, I've got a collection of them. And to be honest, they're, I keep the poker chips on the display case, and some of the awards and stuff that I've gotten at some of the local shows and things like that. To be fair, the awards, the medals, or whatever you get, from there, some I keep, like the plaques and this event here I really like. So everything you see here will go in the display case. But I keep the poker chips. They're just fantastic way of, like you said, contributing or basically showing the average person, showing appreciation towards somebody's build.
Greg's got a great story. He says the pain in the ass story was a model he entered in Golden Demons. I believe Greg has 2 Golden Demons.
I thought he did too.
Yeah. Afterwards, I asked one of the judges why my Skaven Warlord didn't place. He said Skaven can't ride dragons. Greg replied, "It's a wyvern. Look at the missing arms, and Skaven can ride wyverns." And the judge's response was, "Oh, oops."
Yeah.
And so it just happened. So no, but it's again, I think, quite frankly, I hope I can speak for Mike on this. We would have put that same judge's award in your hands as well, because it's an absolutely gorgeous kit.
I'm just humbled by it and floored by it. I took that picture this morning. It's still sitting in the photo booth over here, and because it's taken me all week to go through and sort everything that I had from this past week for the event, because work went to hell early part, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll have to post it this weekend. But yeah, it really was a humbling experience. It was just to have my friends and peers or whatever give the award out, and I'm like, especially Jamie going, "Hey, dumbass, wake up! Pay attention." It's like, oh shit,
get out of your head. Listen to what's going on.
That's really what it was. I was sitting back there. Scott basically says he got a direct line of sight to me in the back of the room, where I was just sitting there, and I'm looking at my Booker there, and I just wrapped up the conversation with Grant and Rick before the award ceremony, and I'm just like, what did and the lesson learned was, I'm going to take pictures of the reference photos and stuff and put something together, put it there so that that's there. It's like, lesson learned. Okay, I'll do that, because it was like, oh, okay. And because I got to take it to Virginia here in in August, It's like, okay, I got to put that there. I'm sitting here putting these things in my head, what to do. And then they call my name. And Scott, he told me later at dinner, he's like, yeah, I had a direct line of sight of your mopey ass. You know, he goes,
let's move on to the important pictures.
Yeah.
From our Discord.
I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry about that.
No, in no way, shape, or form do I want to belittle or take away from what you went through, because I understand that.
No.
But yeah, that was a lot of picks.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like I said,
not a problem. But no, it's a good lesson, and I'm actually glad we got to talk about it, because it's something that everybody goes through.
Well, and here's the thing: look at Mark's level of experience, and even he's learning.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You're always learning new things.
And this is a lovely 1-to-1 scale build of a Nuka-Cola refrigerator. I think Dave's done a phenomenal job on this. It looks great.
Love it.
Nice.
Awesome. And we got some nice stuff from Joe. Joe put up some of his stuff here.
Very cool models.
I don't know
what game these are for. I don't know if Joe's with us right now.
He was earlier. He made a comment about Slave One changing his name.
Yeah, I don't know what models are from. I don't know if this is GW or like old world models or.
Not sure.
Yeah. Writing on the paper. Very cool.
There you go.
Bring out your dad. Bring out your
dad. Yeah.
More that train's been working on.
Yeah, the laser dragon or dragon laser.
Yeah.
Or Games and Gears. I forget the company. Oh,
JP was at Origins last weekend, and got a couple of bronze.
Love it.
Very cool. He was very excited. Tim's working on some goblins.
Gobos. Old school gobos.
Very, very cool. The board with a nail in it.
My favorite weapon.
There we go.
I'm trying to think about what I'm
There you go.
Well, what was that, Mark?
I said I got to think about what I got to do for October this year.
Yeah. And the models Joe's working on are Wargame Atlantic models, which are awesome models.
Very cool.
Nice.
Some more stuff. Tim's branching out from goblins to mecha. Or goblins pirating mecha. I don't know, but
nail might do some damage to him. You know.
There. Every time I see Tim's models, it takes me back to the days when I played DBR and DBM, and a lot of 15mm stuff. The stucco style bases.
Yeah.
that was the standard back then.
Yep.
Very good stuff.
Guards of the Trader's Troll. Okay.
Trader's Toll. I think he kind of corrected himself.
Yeah.
There we go. A lot of mechs.
Yeah, mechs are popping up all of a sudden.
And the battles are going like gangbusters.
Yeah. I think these are Cav, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Very cool stuff.
Oh, they're from a different. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Cav is Reaper's version of BattleTech.
Okay. All right. I was wondering why they didn't have the hex bases, because I know that BattleTech Alpha, you don't have the traditional movement like you'll do for the classic.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking, like, I've been tempted to make the hex bases a little bigger.
There we go.
You know,
Alpha Strike operates pretty much similar to a miniature game, and the game's a little more streamlined to make it more like an actual tabletop mini game.
Yeah.
Then the actual hex based movement goes back to the old school BattleTech.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more detailed to keep track of your heat and each individual weapon and that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, when I played Alpha Strike a couple times, and that's what I liked about it was, you know, you could some folks had the models that you can buy pre-made, and they're still in the hex bases. It drove me nuts that the model doesn't, you know, they had like an Atlas and it's on this tiny little base. I'm like, can I make the base bigger?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I think Alpha Strike you can. So
yeah.
Some
very cool.
Or Shadow War Armageddon.
I like that. Oh, that's really good. Nice work on the back.
Yeah.
Oh. And then we got these.
Yeah.
Some young upstart starting out. Get the handle. Needs to learn how to use paint handles.
I'm using them my way. Yes, my wartime army's coming along.
Very, very nice. The models look great, but I love the woodwork, the wood on the bases there. It really kind of pops.
Because I'm doing more time. I don't want all my wood bases to be the same color because you're always in different buildings. So I want variety in my wood tones.
It looks great.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Flesh tones look really good.
That's all I'm working on really is my flesh tones.
Yeah.
Good, Mike.
Thank
Very,
you.
very cool. Best Father's Day present ever.
Isn't the Fantastic Four out now? Or
I have already taken the day off.
Okay.
Oh,
It debuts July 25th. I submitted my time off paperwork yesterday.
Okay.
Because I am going to be at the cinema for the first show that day. If that's the only one I see, that means it's a bad movie. If I don't leave the cinema, it's a better movie.
We will know.
My youngest daughter, who knows her father very, very well, found this online. It's a 3D print. Contacted her sisters. They pulled their money and they bought me this.
Very nice.
It is almost 12 inches tall. Absolutely gorgeous. Comes with 3 different heads.
That's the one with the cigar?
That's the one with the cigar.
So you have a 12-inch thing?
I have a 12-inch thing. Absolutely.
Potty mouth.
We're going to get Facebook jail for that. And then all my hobby time has been spent painting, or not painting, but building. I've had hardly any time to do any painting, which is very depressing because the Space Wolves are out. But I have been building. I got 2 fairly large commissions that I'm getting assembled. And it takes a lot of time. So the only thing I've had a chance to paint is this.
A shield.
That is the shield off of my new Space Wolf Wolfguard Battle Leader.
Okay.
And I was looking online and everybody's doing it in blue, everybody's doing it in red. And I'm like, I need to do a different color because I normally don't do Ragnar Blackbane's Great Company because I think the yellow shoulder pad with the black wolf head is overdone.
Yeah.
But my initial thought was because the pack marking for Wolfguard is black and yellow, is usually a yellow field with black claw or hash marks. I was thinking about doing the hash marks around the ring of the shield, but when I got to this point, I went, you know something, I think that would make it too busy because there's already a lot going on there. So I left it like that.
Oh, we lost Mark.
Oh, where'd Mark go?
He abandoned us.
Well, he just says, I'm out.
I wonder if his internet went out or he pressed the wrong button.
He really, really, really doesn't like my Wolfguard shield.
I guess. He's like, Wolfguard, I'm out of here.
Let me know. I'm going to send him another invite, but let me know if he pops back in.
He's back.
Huh?
He's back.
Are you back?
Sorry about that. We lost internet.
We just thought you didn't like seeing Jeff Space Wolf stuff.
I know you don't. I know we have this rivalry thing going on, but you don't like yellow, or you don't like my shield, or what?
No, my apologies. We've been having internet issues.
Talk about wondering what I did wrong.
No, you're fine. I'm sorry, but no, the shield looks good. I was going to comment. I recognize that from the new box set, and I think that looks really good, Jeff. I love the yellow.
Yeah, and I was going to make, like I said, I was going to make it the black hash marks in there like a Wolfguard would have, but I just thought that would make it too busy. There's already a lot going on that shield, and I like the yellow.
Yeah,
I think you leave it like it is. I mean, it looks really, really good.
It came out pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with it.
You know,
but
that's
the
a bright
only
spot on that figure
doing.
because we all know you're going to screw the rest of the figure up. So
I already have. That's already have. I start that process the minute I put it on a paint handle. It's like, nope, I'm done.
You need to go take painting lessons from Rothhauser again. So anyway,
well, because you use your paint handles wrong.
Yeah, I'm not even using the stand. I'm using the new paint handles that I have. And if you listen when I talk, Mike,
I don't
understand why I've switched to these handles.
I know.
I'm a very heavy-handed painter. These do not allow me to be heavy-handed and giving me a little bit more brush control.
Jeff can't smash brushes.
I thought you would be on my side, Mr. Get out of your comfort zone and try new things.
So yeah, I would still turn them upside down.
That is our pictures from Discord. They're all nice. So, whew.
This has been our longest show, but it's been amazing.
I'm sorry.
No.
The last 2 times I've been on, you guys have gone over your hour and a half limit.
But I think it's brings up some really good information for. Well, first of all, like an idea for the coin thing. I think that is just amazing, and I think that can be brought into our hobby so easily. Anyone could do it. You don't need to be part of a club. It could just be you see something cool at a shop, you give the dude a poker chip or something like that. Just say, hey, I just really appreciate the work you're doing. I just want to show my appreciation for the work that you're doing. So I just think that's a really good positive thing to do in the community.
I agree.
I think also if you're in, most of our viewers are local, but I know some aren't. If there's a model show in your area, just go. You don't have to enter. You don't have to. You just go check out a model show, because I went to my first one with Jeff when he entered there, and it was just amazing. Yeah. It's just great to walk around and see what everybody's doing and just the techniques and the way they're using their color choices. Because when you start doing scale models, you're doing like cars, tanks, and planes and stuff like that. And you just see color palettes that are a lot different. What are we looking at?
Oh, I started a Nissan Skyline.
Oh, very cool. Yeah. So you just get to see a lot of different things, and that can just open your eyes up. And then if you can meet the artist and talk to them, and they can explain the techniques and how they're doing things, you can just grow from that. And I just think that's good stuff.
No, it really is, actually. Absolutely.
Or you can end up buying really huge models.
What you don't realize, Mark, is whatever he's already bought it in his mind.
Oh yeah.
So
you don't need to keep influencing me.
It will be in his house. So
yes, it will be added to the mountain of shame around me.
Yeah, yeah.
Or as Uncle Adam likes to call, the mountain of potential around me.
Yeah. Damn positive people.
All right, you guys got anything else to say? Are you guys ready to cut out?
I'm good to go. It was a great show. I had a good time. Gorgeous, Mark. Thank you very much for taking those pictures, posted on Discord, and I can't wait for the next one.
It's been an honor and a privilege to be on the show again. I appreciate it.
All right, gentlemen. Well, we are all going to cut out of here. Everybody have a wonderful day. Jeff, you good for next weekend?
I am. Absolutely. So far.
Then we will be back next weekend. Talk to y'all later.
See ya.
See you guys. Thank you.